So basically, in our previous video, we learned how to search for freight orders that are linked to either an MOU or a forwarding order number. Once we added our forwarding order number or MOU and clicked on apply, these 3 freight orders appeared in our result page. We can select them and start submitting or tracking events in TM by simply clicking on the hyperlink for the freight order number that we see here on screen. So as you can see, our freight order number is displayed at the top. It says display COE member planned freight order for scenario LOA and the number of the freight order you're looking at currently. The window that displays will usually take you directly to the tab called Document Flow, where you can see your freight order at the top of the screen and below the freight unit and forwarding order number that are linked to that single freight order. Now, if you would like to know what other freight orders are linked to that forwarding order number, you can simply click on the forwarding order number, and once this window is displayed, you would be able to also, under Document Flow, view all the freight orders that are linked to that forwarding order number. If I close this window and minimize this screen, we can see that we have our 3 freight orders in our original page. Each time you click on one of these hyperlinks or any of the hyperlinks that appear on the screen in TM, this will load a new window. So you basically never have to track back or click on the back button here at the top of your browser to go to your previous page. Simply make sure you minimize the screen or simply navigate through your different windows on screen and select the one that is displayed. In our case, we have displayed our forwarding order number here, and we see the linked freight unit and forwarding order number. So we currently have our freight order number displayed at the top and the linked documents, as I previously said, below, freight unit and forwarding order number. Now basically you can navigate to each of the tabs at the top of the screen to view information related to that freight order. This video is going to focus mainly on the tabs for notes, attachments, and execution, which are these 3 here to my right: execution, notes, and attachments. The execution tab, once I click on it, is the one where we will be able to view and also submit events in TM. As you can see, the page right below will display the actual expected events, what are known as expected events: loading begin, loading end, departure, arrival at destination, unloading begin, unloading end. These are events that will differ from freight order to freight order. Each freight order will have a different set of documents to submit or events to submit. In this particular case, our first freight order, the one we selected initially, has the following documents. All the ones displayed on the screen here are what we know as expected events. If in TM we add or insert any other event, it will be considered an unexpected event. So basically anything we see on screen here will relate to expected events. And that's for the top of our screen. At the bottom of the screen, as you can see here for the execution and note tab, these will be directly linked to the event that we have selected at the top. So if we keep moving down, any notes or execution status that we add to this report will directly affect the actual event that we're selecting. So if by any chance I added an event reason or a note here, I would be directly adding information for this event called unloading end event. Basically, you can do nothing in this screen until you click on the button for edit. So basically now we're just viewing the types of events that we would have to submit by looking at a specific freight order. And these are all expected events. If we move over to the tabs that follow, we will see that we can also view any notes that may have been added by the freight forwarder. If the freight forwarder is submitting events in a different system known as CCP, the notes would be used as a means of communication between the 2 systems, TM and CCP. So basically, if you add notes on this tab, whoever is submitting events in CCP will be able to read any updates or any other remarks that you may have added in the Notes tab. The same thing will go for attachments. If we click on the Attachments tab, we will also be able to view any documents that may have been attached and linked to a specific event. So this tab would always show us any of the attachments that are either submitted by the freight forwarder or attachments that the TM planner yourself will be adding to TM. So basically, the Execution, Notes, and Attachments tab work both ways. You can either submit events from here that will directly impact the events that the freight forwarder can see in a different system, and the same thing will go for the notes that we add and the attachments that we add linked to each of the events in the Execution tab. So for this video, we simply want you to understand what can be viewed based on the tabs that we're going to focus on for the duration of this video. Execution, Notes, and Attachments for the freight order that we are displaying. And just for your information, if we close this window and simply click on another freight order that is linked to the same forwarding order number, we will see a screen that is very similar to the one we saw before. But again, under the Execution tab, we may have different events to submit. Also, different notes that we may have to add depending on the events that are linked to this specific freight order, the same as the attachments. We would basically have to navigate through each different freight order that we're supposed to be submitting events for to view what is pending, if there are any attachments or any remarks that a freight forwarder may have added, or any remarks that we want to make sure are stated in the system and linked to a specific event.